I knew right when he was walking in, and I heard that song, "Come with me, Hail Mary." Oh, I was like, "That's my boy. That's my boy, Donnie Creed, baby. That's my boy Creed, right there, coming into the ring, blasting that Tupac. That's a winner. That's the people's champ." Thank you guys. Welcome to Think About It Reviews, where basically, you could think about it. It's not going to just hear my opinion and stuff, because I know you guys are going to go watch the film no matter what. But here's what I thought about Creed. This is directed by Ryan Coogler. Of course, it is starring Michael B. Jordan, Sylvester Stallone, Tessa Thompson. It's a spinoff. It's a spinoff of Rocky. I think the last Rocky movie was Balboa. I believe it was called Rocky Balboa. So Creed is another installment in this franchise, and it's a spinoff. It's a spinoff. It's about Apollo Creed's son, who is played by Michael B. Jordan, whose name is Adonis Donnie Johnson, or Adonis Donnie Johnson Creed. This is a spoiler review. Just to let you guys, this is a spoiler review. Just to let you guys know. So, he is definitely the love child of former boxing champion Apollo Creed, who basically he had an affair, and you get Donnie as his child. And I loved how this movie opened. With the real wife, not his mom, his Creed's wife, Marianne, from the first one, comes in. And she gets him out of juvie, because he was in foster care and he went to juvie. So she gets him out of juvie. So she raises him. So now it's his mom. Donnie, I'm going to say Donnie because I don't really like the name Adonis or whatever. I think Donnie works great for Michael B. Jordan, or Creed's son. But Donnie, yeah. Donnie views her as his mom. So he's lived his life throughout. We see him in this film. He's lived his life throughout. But he has this passion. He wants to fight. He's a fighter through and through. He's just like his daddy. He's a fighter. So he quits his job, which he's actually does. He's doing really good in his job. He just got promoted, but he said, "I'm going to quit. And I'm going to do this thing. I want to make this legit." But nobody wants to take him in. Nobody wants to take him in because of the name. They know that, of course, Apollo Creed died in the ring, and they don't want him to walk the same walk, and they just don't, and he's not, they feel like he's been privileged, which I like about this film, is that he's not from the gutter. He's not climbing back up. It's not a rags to riches kind of story. He's already has that. I mean, when we see in the very opening, when he's going to tell his mom that he quit his job, you see his big old mansion, you see his nice car, and what's great is that you still root for him, even though he has the lifestyle. But he's humble. He's humble. He's grown up in a juvenile. We see him in that juvenile detention center, and he's a fighter, man. He's a fighter. He has this anger. He has problems with them, and you relate to that as well. So during this movie, yes, he goes and he wants to make a name for himself. So he goes from Hollywood to Philadelphia, and from Philadelphia he goes he goes to a gym, and he goes under the name Johnson. He doesn't want anybody to know that he's Creed's son. Nobody knows that he's Creed's son, which is kind of crazy, because wouldn't you think that in this modern time, you would know that that's Creed's son. But anyway, that's just a little nitpick. He goes to Philadelphia. He wants to make a name for himself, and he looks up, of course, Apollo's rival, Rocky Balboa. Sylvester Stallone. I don't really like Sylvester Stallone. I think Arnold Schwarzenegger is the man. I think he was the number one action hero for me. But boy, is Sylvester Stallone really good in this movie. He's old. I have never seen Sylvester this old before. And he looks, maybe it's makeup. Some of it's definitely makeup towards the end when we learn about Rocky and his condition. But it fits him. Sylvester Stallone being the mentor definitely fits him at this given time. Yes. Of course, I don't want a retelling of the first film. Of course, I don't want, a lot of the same beat for beats. But Rocky as Donnie's trainer makes sense to me. It makes so much sense. So honestly, I really like that aspect of the film, and Sylvester does knocks it out of the park. He is so good. He is so good in this film. He has, he's the Rocky He's the Rocky from those old films. He's that lovable guy. He's that lovable, brawler who is just old. Who's just old. He still goes visits Adrian's and Polly's grave. I mean, a lot of those scenes. I told my grandma, because my grandma really wanted. She's a big Rocky fan and she wanted to see this film. So I took my grandmama to go watch this film. She was crying. She was crying in a lot of the parts because a lot of people love this franchise. And Rocky Balboa, I actually did enjoy that film, and I'm not a big fan of Rocky, but I really did enjoy a lot of the callbacks, and they didn't really throw it in your face. They really tried to make Michael B. Jordan the star of this film, and he is. He has a love interest with Tessa Thompson, who's played who she plays Blanca, and I like this. I like the relationship they have. I like how she's a singer. He's the boxer. He meets her when he gets into his new apartment. But the thing is that she can't hear too well. So he really went to go knock on the door because the music was way too loud. And of course, she's gorgeous. But what I like about this is Blanca is that she knows that she's going to lose her hearing permanently. I like that. I like that little change. Just a subtle little thing like that. Just a little thing about that character makes it really interesting. Because I don't think I've seen that in film where she knows her hearing is already bad and she's gonna lose it in some time. But I like that. It's ironic too because she's a singer and she loves music. So they could really take it somewhere if they do a sequel to this film. So I really like that aspect to it. And of course, I really like the relationship between her and Donnie. I really like Blanca and Donnie's relationship. And of course, you had those same tropes where he fights with the guy who's like all up on Blanca and stuff. The macho status, like territory status kind of conflict. So you see that at the very end, of course, where everything's just falling apart. And we knew Rocky was going to get sick. And he does get sick. He gets sick in this film. And I didn't have a problem with it. I was wondering what it was going to be, and it ended up being cancer. Of course, one of the big things they like to do is cancer. But I do like the aspect of like Donnie's like, I'm fighting, you got to fight, because Rocky doesn't even want to take the medication. He doesn't even want to like take any medication. He doesn't want to do chemo, nothing like that. He just wants to die. He wants to see his wife, and you still see that. I think that's where the emotional parts come in, because he still loves Adrian. He still loves her with a passion. I thought he was with somebody else after Rocky Balboa, but I guess not anymore. She does mention about his kid and how he moved away and stuff, but yeah, I did like that aspect of, if Donnie fights, you fight, Rocky. And I did love the training montages. I did like overall, they really incorporated like Stitches in this film, which is pretty awesome. They incorporated the use of the mitts, the Stitch guy. I mean, they really incorporated a lot of the little things when it's time for fight night, especially walking into that ring and you have to walk all that way before you even make it to where the entrance of where you're going to go to get into the ring. So that's great. What I really liked in this film as well was the music. I thought the music was really fantastic. I thought the music really held up, especially that Tupac, baby. Yeah, Lupe in a trailer, and then you got Tupac in the movie. Beautiful. Creed's already a winner. Oscar, give it to him now. But yeah, I really like the use of the music. I really like the music was really, 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 really great. What I really enjoyed was the camera work. You got a little bit of Raging Bull with that final fight. Little bit of Raging Bull. So I really love the camera work, the direction in this film. The film looks beautiful. The film looks very, very beautiful. Cinematography looks fantastic. But the camera work, I was the biggest fan of the camera work in here, especially when it came to the fights, because I've seen a lot of camera work being used in a lot of boxing films, but I think they really captured the outside of the ring where you're Spectre looking inside of the ring, that kind of camera work. And they had, of course, the inside of the ring where we get those close-ups, we get those dog fights, we get Michael B. Jordan's face, you get those long takes, you get those long tracking shots. Beautiful work with the camera. absolutely fantastic. Whoever was the camera guy did a fantastic job, and it had to take a lot of work to be in one place to this place, because there's a lot to go to when directing a film like this, and I thought it was beautifully directed, honestly. So the only thing I really had a problem with this film was the tropes, was the fact that Michael B. Jordan loses at the end. Okay, this is a spoiler review. He loses at the end. I'm like, oh, that's fucking weak. Like, I wanted him to win. Why can't he win? Why can't he make the big upset? You know, people have done it before. Matt Serra versus GSP. People have done it before. Like, I don't understand why they couldn't have Creed win at the end, but he doesn't win at the end, and it just felt like it felt like it wasn't even executed right when he doesn't win at the end, because it felt like he was getting his ass kicked throughout the film. Yeah, he starts making a comeback, he knocks him down, but honestly, he was getting his ass kicked through the film, and it just didn't feel like more of that. It didn't feel that underdog kind of story when it came to Rocky. If it was an underdog story, definitely with him, definitely with a different perspective of things, since he wasn't rags to riches. He was actually already wealthy, but he still was the underdog because everybody said he's just a name, he can't fight. But I felt like they dropped the ball. I felt like he should have won that fight at the end. I felt like it would have been a much more satisfying ending, but he did not. And Rocky didn't die, so that's great too. Rocky's getting old. It just makes me want to see a sequel. It definitely makes me want to see a sequel, but the problem is I want us to see one individual film, and then a sequel is just bonus. And I felt like that ending just didn't really satisfy my hunger at all, especially how it ended. I liked the sweet little moment, but I still felt like it could have ended in a better little note there. But overall, Creed was a fantastic movie. It was great acting by Sylvester Stallone, probably one of his best acting performances, even though sometimes you can't understand the guy. Michael B. Jordan is always fantastic. I really liked him in this film. Hopefully next movie they give him a little bit more to do. They open him up a little bit more, especially with him and Blanca. I thought Blanca was fantastic in here as well. Or Tessa Thompson, I thought she was really, really great in here. I like that dynamic. I like that characteristic she has. And then, you know, it looks like they are setting up some stuff for upcoming movies if they ever wanted to proceed to more movies. The one thing I didn't really necessarily like either was the stats. They show you the stats of these fighters and the names and everything, so they could just throw it at you and say, oh, yeah, this guy's a badass because look how many wins he has. We didn't necessarily need that. All you have to do is show us how they fight, and we get the picture, especially when Donnie gets his ass knocked out the first time, where he goes in the ring, he's like, oh, and he knocks somebody else out, and then the real big top dog in the game comes in and he knocks his ass out. So the ending fight was great. All the fights were really good, well done, well choreographed. Overall, I did enjoy this film. I really enjoyed this film. I didn't love it. I wanted to love this film, but I didn't love it because there were some aspects to it where it was like, okay, I know the beat for beats on this. Okay, you didn't win at the end. That is kind of a downfall for me. I was like, eh. But overall, I really do like this film, and I do recommend you watch this. So thank you guys for listening. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for Creed. Like the video if you like it, and comment below. That is pretty much my thoughts on Creed, and I really, really did like it. My grandma loved it. So win-win for everybody. So like I always say, grab a seat, make sure you got some good popcorn to eat. I'll see you at the cinema.